Fast forward, Gyankromah our channel so I say AGH politics avenue. Any dear ma, onia yambo in right in sim. Na nana dan kwa Akuffo Addo ne darling daughter, Gyankromah. For the statement be eba abonten so efa painting who contractor award the man or break silence. Na sansem we say na Katie ajemre na or 2 months na or make some exposés be oguma who be here say who the for any day ba. Shana so am say hakti AGH politics avenue. Enne ede di kanya unshiamia. Omodia so bitima subscribe to the channel ade amame. Wo mre da so a nyame hwa so wajemre. Chira wadwen under the comment section. Yembo enroll simni.
Tella. Na somebody nyina we no penance because we no num wi obonduro. Na seba your friend Gyankromah na say na sewa na stress. Eya Gyankromah o ye na do danko Akuffo Addo a oye Akuffo Addo ba. Gyankromah or then the boy be no bought drugs at those times Gyankromah or humbo. And a Gyankromah at a krata beto abontene. Na ne krata no insema otro wo mu ne bekin kan. Na yewia na yebusa Gyankromah questions miensa. Me sure that time na otro krata we no abobi. Stella. Enti Gyankromah nie o say get me the Gyankromah get me the Gyankromah story. Oh, any me hu. Thank you, Mr. S. Gyankromah letter na nyina obo to fa o say Stella. O say Gyankromah Akuffo Addo refutes allegations she received $25 million to paint interchanges in Accra. Instructs her lawyers to take legal action against those publishing the absurd and false claims. Yes, Gyankromah the krata ba bontene say ono watete na mframa bu se nkofo bi so okoji $25 million eko penti eye interchange ase na Gyankromah say or the asam na man lawyer oti ade obeti wo mframa mu say obi agina baby TikTok, Facebook, radio so, TV so aka say ono Gyankromah oji $25 million na okoye contract bi ko penti ya wakacha ne lawyers say omunya on standby to say police dogs. Lawyer be na necessary raking or say Akuffo Addo lawyer no or say on standby to say police dogs. The lawyers na ntwen omo tipe omo nsiu nipa no e wo court. Mama wo kan Gyankromah letter no. Ya kan letter wi a obeti ase adekodi enti a ohwe de bag mu ade bia be hu wi. Mama kan kire o. Gyankromah statement ni ne Gyankromah Akuffo Addo and a biasro hono I na seba statement. My attention has once again na say otinimre bi no wasati biem. Oni certificate o. Gyankromah oni certificate obi anim school okoye go and google Gyankromah na read the profile on go school bia omni certificate go do abrochire no go school no I Messi omuni say Akuffo Addo baby no certificate. Woni Akuffo Addo ba wa school bi say me classmate ni bucha me back up chem one person. O de Gyankromah nko me pe Ghana ni o ka say Gyankromah ko school we wa ha and the classmate ni no ni wie the same as ne papa. Gyankromah one graduate to be bia or a dropout. Gyankromah obe challenge na or a dropout one ko school UK cross school one ko. Mami di letter nim otufo tie me asanteman ene sa asontrese fo pizza to fo nyina edin omo ma no meduro anu meduro omo so omo nu meduro enu meduro omo nyina etie me. I say my attention has once again been drawn to the circulation of entirely absurd and false claims alleging that I received $25 million to paint interchanges in Accra. I say yasa twena adwene akoso biem. Say amanfo bi ekeka nsem bi won framem say ono Gyankromah Akuffo Addo na seba a okofa mikmil ba ya obobegina Jubilee House ebenum wi ever try music video e can fuck wo no or so wasat biem say ye keka nsem bi won frama say or no Gyankromah or no oje contract $25 million bia or the painty interchange yase. Paragraph 2. Let me state again, unequivocally, and for the records, unequivocally. Let me state again, unequivocally, and for the record, this claim is completely false. No such contract has ever existed, been offered, or been awarded. Or say, or ka etum abiem. Ama obiati asiye say, contract biye niwa time and I say president or not no offer amwakwata eye roads minister no contract biye niwa ye de man no your friend di share nsem ya ka say nebusuani anane papa the president di onje anase obi ka say kokwa mu no onje wei enkoye or say bibie sa ni ho or ka esim etim epiem. Paragraph 3. If any individual, media, platform, or commentator is in possession of such a contract, I challenge them to produce it publicly. They will not, because it does not exist. Or see, or not. Now say ba Gyankromah Akuffo Addo ba ayombenum wi Jubilee House. Ebe a music video ka fuck kire Ghana for omo board drugs or see. Say obi ewo Ghana na or see neni ehun sa contract no. And I say, oh, say, ono Gyankromah, na say ba, sign contract bia, or say, sign nipa no, famra. But or say, onim say, bibia sa ni ho, intenya di obia betu ni bibi sa ba. Paragraph 4. Paragraph 4. So we study the paragraph 3 now. Or see, they will not, because it does not exist. See, I can say, onifreni ka so beto boa na onimde ni nice so. Or see, they will not find it. Why wouldn't they find it? Because it was not done in the proper way. Now we go paragraph 4. The arts of all projects were privately conceived and executed through the Creative Art Agency, funded through a combination of private sector support and personal contributions. These facts have been publicly stated before and remain unchanged. Mami, take this paragraph again. Very, very important. Remember, Gyankromah Akuffo Addo, when that project was ongoing, was serving as a public servant. Mr. P, Mr. S, check that for me. When that project was ongoing, was she still a public servant? She was the CEO of Creative Art Agency, which is a civil servant. It's a public servant job. On my position, or a jumama buying. In the time and oil project way, you can't say project way no, and as I said we be told you know, and our project you can't say is C no, na oye the CEO of Creative Arts the Agency. So basically, he is speaking as a government official. That contract was executed when she was a government official. Okay. Now, the Arts for All projects were privately conceived and executed through the Creative Art Agency. Or see, some project now near friend the Arts for All projects, no, a project BIA. It was the privately conceived and executed through the Creative Art Agency. Creative Art Agency are bind there, but this our project there, not a private idea. Remember, she is speaking as when she was doing this project, she was the CEO of Creative Art Agency. But this particular project, not a privately conceived project, so she's trying to separate the project from the Creative Art Industry Agency. So right now, from her own letter, when that project was being done, she as the CEO of Creative Art Agency, she was the CEO and also part of a private project that was basically under the auspices of the Creative Art Agency, because she has still not disassociated the project from the Creative Art Agency. Technically, even though it was privately conceived, it was working under the Creative Art Agency, which was a government institution, or is still a government institution. Now, the art of all projects were privately conceived and executed through the Creative Art Agency, funded through a combination of private sector support and personal contribution. Or see, even though that project, time and now you're not the CEO of Creative Art Agency, privately conceived, nipebia, na a creative art industry, edina daso, and also sika no, sebio, nipebin toboa. Any sebio, omwankasa sikebi omukonyani baby. Gyankromah, oh right, Gyankromah, like father, like daughter. Or say, sika semne die, ene di omukonyani baby. So we're studying the letter very well. We are still waiting for Gyankromah to tell us, as the former CEO of Creative Art Agency, who was involved in this kind of project under their protection or under the umbrella of Creative Art Agency. We are still waiting for Gyankromah to tell us how much they received in contribution as in funds, because still she's making us understand creative art is in there. That means Aban Ejuma is taking or playing a role in that project. Now, I couldn't even say, Sika Omudiya project, na a combination, a fund through combination of private sector support and personal contribution. Or say private sector phobia and a DDA support, and on one personal contribution from one and now for and Mkunya Sika project. Still, she has not mentioned a single cent that was derived out of the private contribution and donation. This is the former CEO of Creative Art Agency, which is a government institution. She is now speaking as the former CEO during her time as the CEO of Creative Arts. Now, I couldn't even say these facts have been publicly stated before and remain unchanged. Or say, somewhere they order that. Ya on sana no, baby, a done a diatiasia. Paragraph 12 also said the deliberate revival and spread of this fabrication, particularly across social media platforms, is a calculated attempt to mislead the public and damage my reputation. Or see, Sasam Nakoda. Now, anyone wants to end the Sasam Nasa sorry, sir, Manfo be say, time and now, yes, CEO of a Creative Art Agency, or no, let me organize a private event. And still, in the capacity of the CEO of the government agency, ultimately capacity, funds from people and private funds. All this she was in the capacity as the CEO of the Creative Art Agency. So, Gyankromah in the position, it me at the Akoja funds. And remember, also funds Creative Art Agency was still involved in that project. So it wasn't a totally private project. It was a project which was based on a Creative Art Agency strength and a more funds. Still, Gyankromah has not said anything about the funds. We made 1,000 Ghana, 2,000 Ghana, $4 million, $5 million. She has moved away from that. Another paragraph. Accordingly, I have today instructed my lawyers to take immediate legal action against the individuals, platforms, and media outlets responsible for publishing and amplifying these falsehoods. I will not allow deliberate misinformation to go unchallenged. Gyankromah Akuffo Addo. The question here is, Gyankromah can send bebree. Adia na ya adwene nkoso no, Gyankromah ma ya adwene akoso. Yeka conflict of interests. Gyankromah can be sued by any Ghanaian for using that your office to run a private business. Do you know that? We are for. Because from your own statement, it was privately conceived. but you did not separate the agency, that is a government agency, from a privately conceived idea or project. Meaning, you use government resource to run a privately conceived idea. So there's a conflict of interest here. We're creating private idea, and now they are buying agency as an SPV, a special purpose vehicle. You are using the creative art agency to solicit money to be dumped into a private account for you to use. Because Sankaoka said that project was a privately owned project whereby the agency I headed had no connection to. Then it means to say the agency did not have any collaboration, any input, any resource spent on that project. But you are making us understand that the creative art agency played a very vital role in this privately conceived idea. If we are asking you, Gyankromah, you as the CEO, now watch this video. This is Gyankromah Akuffo Addo.
And to see where the holes were and where the gaps were and where the obstacles were within our industry. And we're searching, I'm much more of a solutions-orientated person. So we're searching for solutions rather than what the problems were. And Panji and I is also, commonality has always been in education. And he's also shared with me the initiative that he had started and that was interested in implementing more creative classes, art, music, drama within our schools, primary schools, secondary schools, understanding that instilling in an early age is a crucial point. With any Olympic athlete, you're always told that it's something that you start with in infancy to be able to really garnish and gather that passion. So I hope that he's feeling somewhat encouraged that we are sitting here, albeit as the timing.
Oh, God's time is the best.
That's what I like to hear. So we're here in that stead, and we're here to start with a glass half full, if it were. You know, to move forward and our first tackle that we think that we're going to tackle is within teacher training. We feel that there has to be we have to compartmentalize this problem or this initiative and then take it apart bit by bit. Within talking within the Ministry of Education, Frank and I, stemming from just getting here, we have found that we don't have our practitioners who are actually trained within.
Say how they go for you and the practitioners and you wow. That's it. We need. The whole creative art agency, Omunie, MPP for this is something prophet known, and you hear and I'm gonna tell you and they say why you didn't going to draw some not to ultimate and the professionals and the skills and the Akuffo Addo bank was the same say a low accent, say British, say a Japanese, say American, only maybe some accent and it's smart people. Mr. Akuffo certificate brown for my only certificates. One day, Gyankromah resume da. Why na what Ghana we baby Gyankromah go school, Nippon in the class, a graduate year. These are dropouts. Female version of Akuffo Addo, we need. Now, so who analyze the letter in the palm? I'm sure tricky, I'm sure I did be a letter the ma. Ebemu say they use the same 4-4-2 formation and on the rear. So we read the first paragraph. Now we read the third paragraph. I'm sure idea. My attention has been the fourth paragraph. Or can send me so. The art of all projects were privately conceived and executed through the creative art agency. The idea was privately conceived, meaning an individual be and a general.
We and some of the team course or channel so. Mam and what so Jimre. That's an so bad in the Dumbi Edominia. You may sing Asia.